Hello. I did a few videos on this already. I probably will update them a little more since they did fix a few little things that I was complaining about. But this is pretty much just going to go over a standard little build for each weapon line, I guess, is what I'm going to do. I'm starting with bow, which I guess I should have started with war scythe, but fuck it. Needless to say, you'll notice you have your basic attack snipe. You have a free slot, which I use in snaring shot because bow has very bad AoE damage. It's really not impressive at all, which I'll show later on. Escaping shot, which for some reason only a few people use. I don't understand that. It does pretty good damage. It'll actually help you escape pretty much any situation, especially paired with freedom, captivating sprint, and then smoke screen, sneak attack, whatever you're going to use. Hook shot whenever you need it, especially in groups. You can knock somebody completely out of position, or you can engage a fight by pulling their healer well over to you, things like that. Zephyr is always a must-have on leather. If you do not have Zephyr on a leather build, it's probably not the armor for you, because that's literally its bread and butter. Crescendo shot, yeah, it has a little bit of delay to cast, but it still has the highest damage out of any of the abilities you're going to be able to use. It does take some getting used to because you have to make sure you're aiming at the target. Because if you use it, say if I shoot right here, miss, miss, miss. You have to actually make sure you are aiming past or onto your target. It's better to aim a little past just so you make sure that you're going to hit. But that's the only downside to this one. Of course, you have your drain life. It has a percentage of health. You'll notice it says drain efficiency 0.6. I think I explained this in another one of my videos. It actually means of that percentile, so that's the multiplicative aspect. So 60% of your damage, which for some reason it says it scales to 60% up until 20. So I don't know if it goes to 70 or what the case is. I haven't tried to level it to 20 yet, since I haven't had a reason to. I might do another video to show all the scaling. But for right now, 60% draining out of all your damage. Well, not all of your damage. Your damage over time doesn't take effect. I already explained that in another video. The captivating sprint, obviously. You don't need this ability, but it'll be handy. You're going to want it. Like, you really won't need it against maybe splint mail, maybe cloth, if that's the armor they're running, because they're never going to catch you. Well, unless you let them catch you, I should say. But it's probably a good idea to keep it on your bar anyways. And then, of course, your last slot, which I have smoke screen. You can pretty much take anything you want. You'll notice I leveled quite a few abilities that I believe are relatively useful to have at that level. Smoke screen would be one of them. You know, stealth. You can shoot. You won't be seen. You want to get away. Things like that. Really handy ability. Sneak attack, you go into stealth. Longer you're in stealth, the higher the damage multiplier is. Preparation is kind of finicky in the sense of like being able to use it when you want to. You use it, after a while, then you get the buff, obviously. So it's a really good DPS steroid, but for the most part, like say you're fighting, you're like, oh, well, let me go ahead and fuck my DPS really quick. So you'll notice I shoot a little bit slower, but then afterwards it's just going to go nuts. So it's actually really fast. It has a really good duration. But it will take you out of stealth. But I guess if you pair that with smoke screen, someone won't notice it other than if they're listening to the sound. But for the most part, preparation in its current state, I would say if it buffed you at first and then debuffed you later, it would kind of work. But then it would be like exertion or some nonsense rather than preparation. Hide's really nice for any situation where your team needs to sit on a point or sit near a point and you don't want them to get spotted, since if you know, whenever you're going into any form of stealth, you leave footprints. So if I run around like this, they're going to see those footprints, but if everyone sits still in this little circle, their footprints will fade. They won't be able to tell they're there, and you can get a nice ambush. I don't use traps other than for PvE. They're not worth it. Explosive trap is only leveled because it does a decent amount of damage. But yeah, for the most part, this is a single target damage build. It does what I need it to do. Might not be what you need it to do, but honestly, I don't recommend trying to go into the AoE kind of build. I would say this would be pretty much a standard if you're going leather. And I would probably recommend leather, unless you're going, I guess, a troll robe build, which that would actually be very hard to catch, but it wouldn't have as much sustain as this, nor resist, so I would probably say this would be your best bet. Like I said, you have 2 abilities that you can swap out at any time. When you get a high enough level, you can pretty much fit any amount of armor abilities, any amount of weapon abilities, so you could switch these both out for armor abilities, switch them both out for weapon. It's really up to you. And that's bow.